Ladies and gents, welcome to CG Reacts, and this is the ultimate camping guide by the channel TierZoo. I don't know what this video is about. Camping guide or camping about what? Alright, I guess whatever it is, it's gonna be fun. I recorded quite a few TierZoo videos already. If you haven't seen them, check out the cards. There's a playlist upgraded for it. TierZoo Reaction. You know, I love zoology video like this. You know, I never thought I would, but TierZoo is a different channel. You know, all the game type guide type of thing is just awesome. So yeah, check out the playlist too, like Oli Sarcastic Production. It's a great channel with mythology and history, internet historian. Most people already knows about internet historian. CGP Grey, Real Life Lore, TierZoo. Yeah, let's do this one.
This video was sponsored by CuriosityStream, and if you like it, there's a second one over on Nebula. More on that at the end of the video. While factions like birds and
Damn, what was that, man?
mammals may
That was gruesome by the insect level, but still.
seem like the most dominant builds in the current meta, the faction with the highest number of top tier members is undoubtedly the insects. No matter what your preferred playstyle is, there's an insect build optimized to command almost any niche you can think of. And despite their obvious drawback of playing in a lower weight class, many of the best insects can hold their own even against heavies. Today I want to discuss an insect build that often gets overlooked by the broader outside community, but one that insect main
A mantis trying to attack a cat. Am I the only one who's getting creeped out by that? Because that's just goddamn. Alright.
tend to complain about all the time. I'm talking about the group of insects known as Neuroptera. This is the final form of one of the most fearsome builds in the entire insect faction. Let's take a look at its stats. So a quick overview of this build tells us that it has some of the lowest stats of any insect build. With no specialized weaponry, an extremely flimsy exoskeleton, terrible aerial maneuverability, and no special camouflage, this build doesn't really have much going for it. So why is it such a contentious build in the insect meta? Well, even though typically the final form of a build tends to be its most powerful form as well, this isn't always the case. When you shift the focus from the final form to the low-level larval form, suddenly things become a bit more obvious. There are two main strategies this build tends to adopt, and we'll get into both of them in a bit. But right off the bat, it's quite apparent that both sport crazy high power ratings for their size. This is due to their comically large jaws, which aside from their fearsome appearance, also have the important special ability of being hollow. This allows the Neuropteran's other main offensive ability to come into play, their venom, which is injected through the needle-like jaws. This venom liquefies the targeted player's insides, allowing them to be leached out later via the same hollow jaws. The two variants of this build are the lacewing and the antlion. Both have the same powerful jaws, but each of them—
Alright, am I the only one who's getting creeped out by that? What is this? Alright. That was just effed up, man. It holding it like that just to poison it. And, you know, the other thing cannot even, you know, escape it. Just, you know, sitting there trying to get poisoned. Ugh. That was just creepy as F, man.
them also focus on another secondary stat to boost. For the lacewing, it's defense, and for the antlion, it's stealth. Let's start with the lacewing. As said before, they're pretty unimpressive as adults, but their larvae are every aphid main's worst enemy. In addition to their powerful jaws, this build sports one of the most unique abilities in the game, the ability to create armor out of the remains of the players it killed. See, lacewings have one of the lowest defense levels in the game, being both extremely small and lacking a hard exoskeleton. Normally,
Whoa, that was awesome. They create their own armor like that? Damn. I mean, obviously, you know, it's in their DNA probably, but you just have to think that, you know, even the insects have some kind of creativity in the end. You know, they're basically killing something like that and just creating an armor out of it. I mean, you would not think, you know, obviously if you know anything about insects, like by watching videos like this, you would know. But generally, people who are not that much interested in any animal or zoology type of videos, don't watch videos like this. They would never think the insect actually do that. That is ridiculous.
this would put the lacewing on about the same level as a caterpillar in terms of how hard they are to defeat. and they certainly are vulnerable, as most players are, right at the start of their playthrough. But yeah, by stacking the shells of their victims on their back, they gain an impenetrable defensive barrier. It's so effective that the lacewing can survive an attack from an entire battalion of ants, something even players in higher weight classes can't always say.
Yeah.
Once they've collected enough
I mean, after Kazkazat video and some others, I had, different type of respect for ants. Because I always thought ants are sure they are workhorse. Everybody knows that one thing about ants, they are workhorse. They work a lot in unison and together. But you would never think that they are actually dominant at certain level. I mean, giant colonies, mega colonies and things like that, they actually being that, basically constant war waging. They have their own cattle, basically. I mean, you would not think about ants like that. That is just ridiculous.
Shells, they actually use them to form their pupa, which is required to level up all the way and reach their final form. This form lacks all of the powerful attributes of the larval stage, but it does give them the range of mobility required to complete the main quest. The antlion adopts a similar playstyle, but instead of its second ability maximizing its defense, instead the antlion focuses on stealth. Their burrowing ability lets them become almost completely undetectable in a matter of seconds, but it also has the secondary function of letting them burrow backwards continuously to create a pit trap. These pit traps are the main reason the insect player base hates on antlion mains so much, since their entire strategy basically boils down to camping. The traps are tough enough to escape by themselves, but as if to make their opponents even more salty, antlions have the special ability to hurl sand at players to stun them, reducing the likelihood of them escaping even further. Now let's talk about matchups. So the lacewing's best matchup by far is against aphids.
Alright, damn. So these are like those hunters that, those movies, TV shows, people, shows that how they create traps in jungles with camouflage and everything, hides somewhere in bushes and attacks, create traps and shit like that. The Rambo level shit. The early Rambo movies. This is like that. And even throw the sand to, stun them. This is ridiculous.
Which are generally some of the weakest insect builds in the game, and mostly played by players looking to boost their XP gains while AFK. However, due to their defensive shield, they also have a good matchup against many of the common high-tier predators of that weight class, like the ladybird beetle and the ant. The antlion, as you can probably guess, also has an extremely good matchup against ants. In fact, probably second only to the anteater. Their main weakness is flying builds, because insects with this ability have no problem escaping the traps that they set. So where do I think the Neuropterans fall on the tier list? Well, having a winning matchup against ants, a definitive top tier, says a lot. There are very few insect builds that can boast about that matchup. However, I do think the Neuroptera player base has a ways to go before I'd consider them top tier. The massive discrepancy between the sheer might of their larval form and their flimsy adult form doesn't need to be the case. Dragonflies have fierce nymph forms, with raptorial jaw parts that can spear other players. But their final form is also one of the most dominant air-to-air combats.
Seriously, that's what I'm saying. The dragonfly thing, even though their larvae is obviously kind of, already dominant in a way, but their adult form is even more dominating. So this is reverse. How is that, larvae is more stronger than the adult form? I mean, is there any other insect or even, something like that has that issue? Because that's just weird, when you reach your adult form, then you're weaker.
Combatants in the game, rather than just being a vessel to complete the main questline. So I would like to see the Neuropteran player base improve upon their adult build, since with a few tweaks I could definitely see it becoming top tier. There actually is a third Neuropteran build that I haven't discussed yet, one that actually does have an adult form worth discussing. It's called the mantidfly, and its lightning quick claw slashes make for a fantastic build for PvP. I've actually got an entire another video about it on my Let's Play series over on Nebula, the platform that TierZoo is a part of. Some of you already found this, but if you didn't know, I've been running a bit of a secret project over on Nebula, where I'm uploading new, experimental types of videos, where I showcase the gameplay of an individual animal, and telling a story about what strategies it uses to overcome challenges and—
What is this thing? Seriously though, I've never encountered something like this and I don't want to. Look at that, it looks creepy as F.
defeat its enemies. This particular video is something I'm really proud of, as the mantidfly is a grossly underrated insect. So,
Seriously?
How can you watch my Nebula original content? Well,
I never heard of this mantidfly. It looks, like, dragonfly level dangerous, just by the look of it. Damn, that is something. Yeah, alright, that was the ultimate camping build. I did not see this coming. There's an actual insect who actually digs a hole and waits for a prey, and when prey comes closer, it literally throws sands to knock it out. Damn. I mean, I know there are, things like spiders and who hides under sands and things like that just to pop out and attack, but actually dig a hole like some kind of a hunter in woods. Damn, that's something. Alright people, that was the ultimate camping guide by TierZoo. If you like my reaction, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the reaction I did. There's a link in the description. Check out the cast playlist, check out the end cards, and I guess I'll see you next time.